Your daughter is already smart.
Yeah.
But you're saying the yes made her even smarter?
Yes.
Do you think the Science Center is helping you help him become a man?
Yes.
A North St. Louis County mother credits a program with pulling her son off the streets. And a North St. Louis City mom says it stopped her daughter from getting into street fights. It's the St. Louis Science Center's YES program, which stands for Youth Exploring Science. News 4 This Morning's Andre Hepkins takes us inside.
How you doing, man? The sensor in your hands. That is the pit.
It's a Saturday in St. Louis.
Try to find the pit.
And a teenage boy is getting to the crux of a lesson in cosmetic chemistry.
This is an olive.
On how fruits such as olives and avocados can be used to make oils.
So I can try to own my own engineering business.
Let me know if you feel any pressure.
Down the hall, a group of girls have their minds on medicine. While in another room, another teenage girl is working toward her computer career.
I want to be a graphic designer.
All these teens appear to be vibrant and productive, but they arrived here with a variety of problems.
I'm an honor roll student. I just have the fighting issue.
The temper?
Yes.
But she was getting into fights before.
Yep. And now she's just getting a lot better.
Because he was never a bad kid. He was making a lot of bad choices.
I would be getting in a lot of trouble right now if I didn't work at the Science Center.
Every Saturday, they come here to the Taylor Community Science Resource Center at Manchester and Kings Highway to take part in the St. Louis Science Center's YES program. That's Youth Exploring Science. Roughly 200 disadvantaged high school students from across the St. Louis area come here to explore opportunities in science and technology inside here as a way to overpower the negative influences that are waiting for them outside these doors.
A proactive approach to engaging the youth of St. Louis in science, technology, engineering, and math.
They call it STEM study, and Science Center mentors use it to help redirect St. Louis area kids who are at risk.
When they come in here, they have to be all about business because this is partially a workforce training program.
So while these youngsters are working together on scientific experiments, they're actually working. The YES program's mission is to motivate these high school students to see science as a way to overcome obstacles to secure success.
I think a lot of it is because of that responsibility of having to get up to come to work.
Gives kids a sense of responsibility at a young age, gives them an opportunity to get a job and earn some money.
In St. Louis, Andre Hepkins, News 4.
Tomorrow night, Andre will tell you more about the young man you just saw in that story and how he and his mother say they turned things around. Thursday night, he will do the same for the young lady. News 4 This Morning's Andre Hepkins shows us how it's helped him to turn his life around.
You ready? Try to find the pit.
It was the last Saturday in September.
You're in 10th.
Yes.
And 16-year-old Dante Rocket
We're going to be making our own products.
was learning how to make household products out of produce.
Getting ready for like chemistry.
He comes to the Taylor Community Science Resource Center every Saturday to get a head start on school lessons as a way to kickstart his plan for life.
Get a scholarship to play football, but if I don't get there, I want to go into the Navy.
But Dante wasn't always walking in the right direction.
And it was causing a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of teary days.
You were afraid that your son was going to become the victim of violence.
Yes.
Gun violence.
Yes.
And you had the fear that your son could possibly end up killed.
Yes.
Dante lives in Ferguson, and he's a sophomore here at Riverview Gardens High School, which is also in North St. Louis County. But his mom had become increasingly concerned about her kid hanging out with friends in this neighborhood in the vicinity of Page Boulevard and Belt Avenue, where the city of St. Louis approaches Wellston.
That he know his father and I have forbidden him to be in, but he would go anyway.
Staying out late at night and not coming home, staying out with my friends.
I started punishing him, but then I realized punishing wasn't helping. So then I just started talking more and talking more.
She noticed better conversation caused a correction in her boy's character, but he too realized he'd been on the road to ruin.
What happens to young men who stay out late at night?
They turn into drug dealers or get killed. I'm in a lot of trouble right now if I didn't work at the Science Center.
The St. Louis Science Center employs Dante and roughly 200 underserved children. They work on building foundations for future careers in science, technology, engineering, and math.
Working at the Science Center, it made me a better person.
And his mission to become a better young man was born out of his love for his mom.
I don't want to see her down or crying, seeing me if I was still in the streets, laying down on dead.
In St. Louis, Andre Hepkins, News 4.
Because there's a lot of pain
Yeah.
behind those tears.
Yeah.
How painful was it when you were?
Oh my gosh.
My mom, that's what she would ask me, why are you so angry? And I would tell her, it's the way I grew up.
A 16-year-old girl's anger was causing her to act up, and News 4 This Morning's Andre Hepkins learned the rage was rooted in her mom's painful past of abusing drugs. But now the teenage girl is doing much better, and she credits the St. Louis Science Center's Youth Exploring Science program.
16-year-old Raven
And
Lett
now we're learning coding.
is tapping away at keyboards
Do I want to be a graphic designer?
on a Saturday inside the Taylor Community Science Resource Center.
I'm actually learning a lot.
Every Saturday, she works at the St. Louis Science Center's Youth Exploring Science program, or YES.
We learned how to make a web page.
Raven is among roughly 200 underserved high school students from bumpy backgrounds.
Like in Baden, there's a lot of crime around me. Like a lot of shootings.
They get paid to gain proficiency in science.
Let me know if you feel any pressure.
I want to grow up to be something that I've been told I can't be.
The future for this sophomore at Northwest Academy of Law looks bright, but her past was bleak.
I had like 6 fights, 7 fights last year. Yeah, I'm an honor roll student. I just have the fighting issue.
Good temper?
Yes.
2 days after this day, I'd find out her present anger was rooted in her mom's past anguish.
15 years of drugs, crack. I've used heroin.
She's from O'Fallon, Missouri, and when her drug addiction caused her mom to kick her out of her St. Charles County home, she'd end up here on the streets of St. Louis in the vicinity of Martin Luther King and Academy.
I think that's why all my kids are angry, because when they get really upset with me, then they tell me how I was never there and I didn't raise them. They're like, you're not my mom, you didn't raise me. You weren't my mom all these years. Why are you going to try to be my mom now?
Angela Martin is a 41-year-old grandmother of 4 and mother of 4, and she's only been with her third-born, Raven, for the past 2 years.
It was like when I couldn't live with my kids, I think the main reason I did drugs is because I couldn't deal with not having them. And if I didn't stay like discombobulated in the brain, then all I did was cry and want to die because I couldn't have my kids. And my mom wouldn't let me talk to him.
I grew up with my grandma. So I grew up getting like pushed away. So it's like anger that has built up in me.
That's why my kids are angry too, because my mom lied to them for so many years, saying that I wasn't calling and, you know, and blaming everything on me. And
Where's your father? You don't know him?
I know him, just I don't see him.
You didn't exactly feel loved by your mom or dad?
No, I did not.
Is that what kind of led to you kind of acting up before?
Yes.
But now Raven is transforming the negative energy from past trials into a positive push toward future triumphs.
This year I made my goal not to fight, stay focused on school.
In St. Louis, Andre Hepkins, News 4.